Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, with my ride or die co-host, Drew, to talk about the power rankings of the Challenge 38. How are you doing today, Drew?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well as well. I'm pretty excited to hear your opinions on this episode. So why don't we just get right to it? Because the biggest thing that happened was Devin helping Fessy during that daily. That's everything about this episode, in my opinion. I was relishing in Fessy, thinking that he can go head to head with Jordan. And he's like, if Jordan's doing target, I'm doing target. And then I think that the producers might have put it in after, being like, let's get Fessy, and making them have to drink disgusting stuff. I loved him retching and barfing and all that jazz. And then they had to convince Devin to help him. What were your thoughts about this?
I thought it was so dumb. I mean, I went off on it in my Friday's Tiny Table Talk about how could this be one of the dumbest moves in challenge history when you're in a time challenge that you're going to help your opponent to get a better time. It did not make any sense to me. I hated that so much. I do want to point out that somebody mentioned it, and I'm going to listen to the podcast episode, but Bananas was talking about them on his podcast. He was talking about like how when they were choosing who to do the first task, he volunteered to do the first task to go up against Jordan. And him and Fessel, I guess, kind of got into it a little bit where they were like going back and forth on like who was going to take it. And Fessel was like really adamant, like, I want to go against Jordan. I want to do this. So when they got to the task and they heard it was having to drink something disgusting, that's why Bananas was laughing so much harder than everybody else, because he just was like, you volunteered, you wanted it. Good luck. It was awesome.
That makes me like, I was really laughing. I was like laughing and kind of gagging at the same time, but like I just loved that he had to go through that, and the fact that they didn't extend their lead or make them time out, at least like that would have been, I think, a better way to play that, especially being the underdog team. Like, just be like, hey man, sorry, you sucks to suck. Like, why are you helping Devin out? But I saw that, or sorry, helping Fessy out. But Devin did tweet that everybody except Horacio on his team was wanting him to help out Fessy. So what was going on there? Did they felt bad for him? Like, I'm so confused.
Had to feel bad. They don't have any time like clocks or watches, so I'm sure like it felt like a long time had passed. I'm sure he was taking a lot of like time during drinking portions of missing all the time, that at a certain point I think people just felt bad for him, including the women on the underdogs team who, if they were to have lost, were going to be going into the elimination. Two out of the three of them. So it's like, no, let him be there all day. You don't know what could happen if they're there for another hour. Do they time out? Does he get timed out and get time and a half? You never know. So force production's hand to make them come up with a decision and be like, well, we allotted an hour. We can't go past this because then the sun's going to go down and we got to get to all the other ones. So you don't know what they're going to do. Granted, there's a theory going out there that possibly Mariah and Jordan would never have gotten past the last task, so it didn't matter how much time that they had. But to me, I say that's hogwash. Just let Fessel like do his thing.
Time out. I want a DQ because you're barfing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't aim. Like I was just like wanting that so badly. But I think that Devin was kind of a little bit proud of himself that he was really being a good spotter, and that like it seemed like when he was spotting people, they were being quite accurate. So that's what they portrayed in the episode anyways. And so I think that his ego kind of got really triggered, that like, look at this, I'm Devin, and people really don't think I'm a great competitor, but look, I'm going to help both Jordan and Fessy out. Look how amazing I am. So I think his ego might have gotten in the way, because like, as a strategic player that we know Devin is, he should never be allowing that to happen. It's like, you want to make your lead as big as possible because you never know what could happen.
I think it's interesting that Horacio, and even to some degree to Devin's tweet, that they were a little bit more like, are we sure we want to help Fessel out here? They had the most to gain to help Fessel out. That even if they were to have lost, yes, they're going to lose a team member, but their original partners are on the other team. Like Horacio, who definitely wanted to play to win. I mean, Olivia was going to be the main vote going directly into the elimination if they were to have lost. So, I mean, I think if anything, yes, they lost a person, but Horacio and Devin actually gained the most with their team losing.
That's true. They didn't lose their partner or have their partner be like in the zone. So okay, maybe that's what they were thinking, is that like we could kind of throw this a little bit. I don't know. But still, I think that the underdog team should keep their momentum and take a win if you can take a win, because the next thing could be isn't the next thing going to be head to head something? I feel like I saw in the preview it was, I can't remember. I might be making that up. Was it head to head?
It's gonna be. It looks to be something like in War of the Worlds season 33 when they had to like walk that like really high up.
Oh, they're on
one person couldn't watch
right.
or look. It seems like they're gonna have to like work with getting people from one edge to the other. They have to walk on the edge. One person has to be walking backwards while the other person is walking forwards. It looks like that's the challenge. So again, not great like team challenges, but it's going to be paired challenges, it seems like.
Well, and also it seems like Chauncey's gonna have a little bit of a freak attack. Do you think that's a red herring, or do you think that team is gonna actually lose? And Chauncey's gonna go in because it's a guy's day.
I almost think that it's a really good possibility that he's going to DQ. I mean, he doesn't have Amber that's going to be the one that's going to be holding him, keeping him steady, kind of thing. So I could actually see him DQing. It's just unfortunate because if they lose, it's a guy's day, and Chauncey could be going in, but we'll see. Maybe it could be a red herring.
Maybe. I don't think it is, actually. I just feel like that team is going to lose again. I think Chauncey's going to go home for whatever reason. So we have friends joining us. Chris is here. Hello. Lovable Nikki. Thank you for being here. Addie's Brain. Lauren K. Poor Drew's waving him. Mary says, my prediction is we're going to get 2 more individual eliminations and 4 teams would go into a purge, but only 2 teams would get eliminated. I don't think that that's happening. Because I think they're going to have to resolve the not forgotten but not gone portion. And so they might have 1 or 2 more ride or dies that are in the redemption hotel. And so I'm thinking, and this is kind of what Matthew was saying on Wednesday with me, and I tend to agree with him, is that we'll have another guys' day, another women's day, and then whomever, depending on who is in the redemption hotel, is going to compete with their ride or die for 3 out of 4 spots to get back in, or depending on how many people are in there. So what do you think?
I don't know. It's interesting because it looks like in the preview to next week, we get a daily challenge. And then at what I feel could be at the end of the episode, to leave it off on a cliffhanger, is TJ making the house call and then getting everybody dressed up in their challenge gear, heading to the zone for something. I just don't know what that is. It is weird that I feel like we're on even numbers. And if there's one more elimination, it goes odd. So we would need...
So maybe it's like a women's elimination immediately. Like
maybe
like 2 in an episode.
Maybe.
Or maybe we don't know, but maybe the daily is back to a guy and a girl going home.
Maybe. Or maybe it's a purge. Maybe somebody purges. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I kind of wish we'd just go straight to the individual, like just bring them back just at the beginning
so
of
we
next
know
episode.
What's going
TJ
on.
Make the house call, and let's start off the episode making the house call, and let's bring everybody in, and
what does
everybody fight.
Tori say at the end? What does she say?
Oh so my god, is going home?
They're not going, something like that. So maybe there's a guy and girl daily elimination or whatever. Like they're the wait, how would that work? He makes the house call. Maybe he makes the house call and he says that there's going to be a guy and girl eliminated. and for the zone portion of it, and then maybe we get to the zone and then everybody's partner comes back in and they're gonna be like, what, are they not eliminated, are they eliminated, what's going on here? And then you'll be like, your ride or die, you know, you got to come and defend your spot here with your ride or die, something like that. I mean,
Maybe.
I'm
Yeah,
interested
I
to
don't
see what
know.
they're gonna do, but I feel like our ideas are gonna be better than what actually happens. Most
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
Lauren wants to cross our fingers for Fessy versus Casey. Oh, we could only dream. I mean,
It would be
Kenny, I mean,
incredible.
that is happening. It has to happen, right? Because Mariah's out and so is Kenny. And so if they're the only two teams that are out, I'm assuming that they would have to go against each other.
Well, the idea is that they're going to do a daily challenge next. So that means that a team is going to get into power and then there would be presumably another elimination. So it's kind of like, would there
Yeah.
be a third team added to this, or because right now it's in the perfect
Yeah,
spot.
there
You've
might be.
already
Yeah,
had
and I think it will be
like an even.
Chauncey and Amber, and then maybe
Yeah.
Horacio and Olivia.
Yeah. With only 2 people left in the redemption portion, and then you've already have like an even number of eliminations up to this point. It's like almost like let's just speed it up and get to that redemption part, because this is the perfect situation to just do it instead of adding another awkward like third party or fourth party into that mix. Like it, to me, it kind of doesn't make sense at that point, but we'll see.
We will see. Hello, Willie. Hi, Sergio, Sue, Diana, Sudani. So many friends joining us. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here in the new year. We already did one pod earlier on this week, but we're back to our regular time, which feels right. This feels right to me. I feel like I'm at home, which is fabulous. So, do you have any other interesting things that happened this episode that you wanted to talk about before we get into our power rankings?
I already talked about it on my tiny table talk, but I did want to bring it up now. I'm like so over Tori and Jordan's stuff. Like I'm
Oh,
just done with it. Like we get like it seems like we get a small fight every single week, and at this point, nothing gets resolved. Nothing actually gets like both people don't listen to each other, and to me, I'm just like I don't care. It sounds like they get into another one next episode, and I'm just like I can't be bothered at this point. Like I
yeah.
actually agree with Anissa that just come to an understanding and then just don't talk to each other. Be done.
I yeah, I mean, I think that they both realize that this is the only storyline really that's happening right now on the season. And so I
Yeah,
think that they are airing it. Maybe, you know, stuff like this has happened more often, but there was other things that are going on that we didn't see it every single week. Because like if we didn't have that, what would they be showing?
exactly. That's something
So
else I talk about. It's like the cast that they have left in the game just isn't that interesting. They're not doing anything very interesting. So it's like, what else is happening in the house, though? I wonder, like, what is going on? Like in the Challenge Australia, they made a whole slip and slide in the backyard at one
yeah.
point. That was really fun. Like, is there anything in the house that they're doing that's fun or trying to pass the time? But they're just not showing any of that. So
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, they had like their emo party and stuff like that. So I don't know why they're not allowing them or showing them like hanging out at least. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing just what they do when they're not on or where they're not strategizing. Like, I kind of want to like play a game. I don't know, get to know each other. I find it interesting that we just really don't learn that much more about anybody except for Tori and Devin's drama. Like, who cares?
yeah,
I'm
it's
over it.
pretty frustrating. But also, I thought about it like, oh, why don't we get more strategy? But with the 2-team system, there's not a whole lot of strategy to go for because all you're doing is waiting for who wins the daily, and then your options are already kind of set up for you. Kind of like this past week, it's like there's only 3 options now after the daily, and then 2 of them are going in. So it really there's no like strategizing, there's no like talking to each other, there's no reason to talk to each other now. With so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I felt I was entertained by this particular episode, and I think it's because I was
Oh
laughing
yeah.
so hard at the first the first part of that daily. I was really upset though with how it went with the fourth portion. So with the bungee, I mean,
Mm.
I get it that they thought it was going to be maybe something that was really endurance based or whatnot, But it irritated me that Chauncey and Casey both put their partners in trouble there. Like, I get it. They want to do well for their team. Casey doesn't want to necessarily go in, but Chauncey really could have saved Amber. And I know that he was really upset after, and Amber was comforting him and being like, no, you got to play your own game. Like, I'm not upset with you. But realistically, he should not have won that. And he should have gotten rid of one of the women on his side and allow his girl to definitely be safe. Because now the more people that are gone on the women's side, the more likely it is that she's going to go home if there's another, it just, you don't want to go down there. And so the fact that he put her in danger, I was just like, Chauncey, you didn't need to win. It's a girl's day.
Yeah, it was pretty low standards, or a low bar for Casey and Chauncey. They didn't need to win. Casey wasn't going to be the main vote. And even in a pool, I don't think anybody would send her into the elimination. I just don't think. So I don't think she would have been in any real danger at the end of the day. So I do think that they should have thrown it. I do want to bring this up because I just thought of this. Remember when Nelson and Nerys were on in Power, and they nominated Bananas and Nani, and then the whole reason why he didn't send Nani into the elimination was because she cried. But I remember Nelson talking on the Bananas podcast saying that it was like around her mom's birthday. And this episode, we actually got the tribute to Nani's mom's birthday. So I wonder if that was completely out of order, but because Nani was going into the elimination, they decided to show it.
I think that that's the case, because I felt like the whole lead up for this episode was Nani going home. And so, I mean, obviously they're trying to paint a certain picture just to create drama. And this was probably the first episode all season that I was wrong with how I thought the episode was going to play out. I really thought that it was Nani going home this episode, 100%, like she was done. And so, but I think that you're right. I think that it was done out of order, because I think they just wanted to build story to make us believe that Nani was going home, and they just didn't have any real footage. So yeah, 100%.
I almost thought that Amber was the one going home at first because of the phone
call. At first when she got, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was like all over the place. Absolutely. A Skype call with her family.
Yeah. Alarm bells ringing.
Like, with Chauncey in there, I'm like, but I'm also wondering if that is out of order also. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm just not sure when they're putting these Skype calls in. They get one a week or one every other day or something like that. So there's many Skype calls that they could be using. And so I'm thinking that the Skype call could also be just put in there to kind of throw us off a bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you could be right. I mean, that could have been the whole when Nerys was going into the elimination and then trying to put like, because it seems like she was talking to her family and then maybe got some like not so great news kind of thing, because she was kind of emotional when talking to her family. So I mean, that could have been around the timing. Wow. I think we're cracking the case here. But
it's like they show us the time clock to have transparency, but then they're screwing us over in the editing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but I don't want to hold on to these moments to when they may or may not be like usable because this person doesn't have anything this episode. So like, what's happening with the rest of the house? Is something else having fun, but because they're not part of the narrative or because they're not going into the elimination? Like, is Horacio and Devin playing pranks on people, but we're not going to see that because it's a woman's day. We'll only show Nani from 3 weeks ago. We'll show Amber from 4 weeks ago, and it'll be fine. Like, people will be none the wiser. I just want to see some like coherency of like, I don't know.
You want to see a sequence of events. You want to know what's going on as they're going on. You want to see what conversations are happening each week so that you can understand why the vote's the way that. I mean, it's pretty like easy to tell now that it's so small, but like you just want to be able to follow the strategic storyline, and they're kind of throwing you off by trying to trick you. And I mean, I think they're doing it for the general audience, you know, the casuals that are just watching it as a TV show. We kind of go in quite deep and like we read into everything. And so they're not building these episodes for us.
No,
at all.
Definitely not.
Hi, Matthew. So Matthew says it could be TJ coming to the house to kidnap members of the team for
Ooh,
the nighttime daily. Matthew,
I would love
that's
that.
that's. I
I
mean,
always love that.
it's nighttime on the in the on the building, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
So maybe like one partner's on one side and one partner's on the other side, and they have to like get back together or something. I
There's
don't know.
also a night daily challenge where they're like running in a cornfield with a giant like challenge building in the middle of it.
Oh,
And TJ's like in the middle of it. It looks like Squid Game-esque.
yes.
And I'm excited for that one, but I think it's back when they're in pairs. And that could be like the last daily challenge, nightly challenge of the season where it's like a purge, which I'm very excited for that one. So
Yes, that would be fun. So Em is actually clarifying what happens in the preview. Tori says, does that mean that they're out and Olivia and Horacio are hugging each other? I still don't know what's going to happen there. Yeah, it's still hard to tell. Very hard to
I don't
tell.
know.
Hello, 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 hello. Yes, we are back to our regular time. So thank you for being here, Bria. Okay, so Diana thinks if there's 3 teams, maybe they do daggers. 2 teams will pick a dagger that allows them back to fight in the game, and the third team goes home without a chance. No, I don't think they'd make someone go home without a chance. That's not. I don't think that's good TV.
I think they have to have something just in case. Like they have to have something just in case. Like if they thought that 4 teams could be facing off against each other, they could have done a double elimination. But if there was 3 teams, I think that they'd have to figure something else out if they don't have enough spots. I don't know. I just want to get to it already. Like, let's get to it. Let's get everybody back in pairs and let's just have fun again. Let's get back to the main point of this whole season.
It's right.
Let's let's bypass it. Don't even do the building one. I'm on Chauncey's side. Don't even do the building one. Just go straight to the redemption, whatever.
Sergio is calling you out. You went off during your video today. Was it that bad? I haven't watched it yet.
It was very cathartic. I preference it in the beginning saying, I'm going to sound negative, but I'm just letting it out. I'm letting stuff off my chest.
You got to get it off your chest sometimes because you don't want it to fester. When things fester, you get sick. You don't want to get sick. No. All right. Well, so what is Matthew also saying here? Anissa and Tori definitely would send Casey in if Olivia was the house vote.
That's true.
Ooh. I mean, okay, fine. I see Casey maybe being apprehensive of losing the women's daily, but I would be more worried about Nani not being able to survive a zone moment.
So I wonder if this would be like if it would be just how it was when the Fessel's team lost a guys' day and they made Nelson the main vote because they didn't want Fessel and Nelson to be in the dagger pool with Bananas because then he would have more of a chance of going into the elimination. So Operation Save Chauncey was in effect. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they would do Operation Save Olivia in effect because Casey would push for probably Anissa to be the one to be sent into the elimination and then make a deal with Olivia. So that's a good point that you brought up there, that I think it would have changed. It would have been the other way around, I guess. So I think that there would have been a push to send Anissa in. And I don't think Jordan would be the one. Like, I think he would pull Fessel and be like, go in there, Anissa, you got this. Like, all right, see you later.
Actually, well, knowing what the actual elimination is, she might be okay with that one. What do you think of the actual elimination where Mariah seems to, it was so intense. Like I was actually on the edge of my seat here. I know a lot of people don't think that Nani has done that much this season. And, you know, they feel like she's had enough shots and like, she's not going to ever win a fight, all that stuff. I still have a soft spot for Nani and I want to see her win a final. I know that means that Banana would also be winning most likely as well. But I think that it would be nice to see, in my opinion, Nani win. So when it was like so close, like in the beginning, I was like, okay, phew, I'm fine. Like she's got the first word, like she's gonna nail this. We hear Casey talking about how she's amazing with writer and she's great with words. And then it was neck and neck, and they were getting so close to the end. And the very end of that elimination, when like Nani calls it, then Mariah calls it, then TJ's looking at his wife and being like, you have to hit the buzzer, and then Mariah hits the buzzer first and check the tapes. I'm like, oh my goodness. Only to find that Mariah had a spelling mistake. Now, I did listen to her a little bit on whose pod was it? Who was she on today? Was she on? She was on the official. Yeah. I don't think I listened to the whole thing, but I believe she said that she had it correct the first time that she spelled the word, and her letters kept on falling down. And so that's why when she put it back up, she wasn't very thorough. And so she didn't realize that she didn't put the letters back up correctly, which sucks. But I mean, you got to be diligent. But wow, that was like a nail biting elimination. I thought that Nani was going to go.
I'll be real. When he explained the rules, I was like, this is not going to be fun. I was like, this could be a cool elimination, but it's probably not going to be that exciting. And by goodness, that was so thrilling. I was enjoying it. I got up out of my seat, was watching it. It was really close. And I mean, say what you will about Nani. I got to give it to her. She had a really good episode this past week. She didn't get scared. She didn't even take the bait with Amber saying like, hey, do you want to go first and pull the sword? And she just was like stead firm. Like, no, it's okay. You do it. And then if I'm safe, I'll be safe. Or if not, I'll go in. And I thought that she handled it really well. She was calm, cool, and collected down in the elimination. And I thought it was really, really a strong performance by her and staying very steady-handed. Now, I will say, I did read some of Mariah's tweets about this, and apparently the production had to like tell people to be quiet because they weren't allowed to help. But Casey did let it slip one word or something, or help Nani, and then Jordan was going to help Mariah, and then production had to really like step in and say, don't help, which I was like, when watching the edit, I was very appreciative that they weren't just like looking at the other person's board and then saying, oh, it's this. I really enjoyed that they were just like doing it by themselves. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I would have been able to do that well. The pressure of it, having to use that bungee to pull up the screen to view the scrambled words. Like, I thought it was a pretty hard challenge. I thought it was good. I thought that it was equally matched. Like, I definitely thought it was a good one, and I really was on the edge of my seat. I can't believe that Nani was making me on the edge of my seat here. It was great, and I was really happy to see her do pretty well this episode. Matthew says, agree, Drew. I could also see Bananas trying to throw Anissa to the wolves.
Yeah,
I could see him potentially doing that as well. Throw in Anissa, and then probably Tori against her. Oh, that would be good too. The last thing I want to talk about before we get into our power rankings is, what do you think about TJ's wife, Roxanne, joining him for this particular elimination?
It was cool. She was a natural down there. She seemed so like just chill, kind of like how TJ is. I mean, you would have thought that she was like co-hosting on the side. Like, she was doing a great job. It definitely took me by surprise, though. I was not expecting her to just walk out and then be there. My favorite part, though, was TJ being like, "Oh, she has a bad strategy," and the mom and his wife's just like, "All right, like, okay."
I think it was a bad strategy, though. I think it would be better to know the word and spell the word while you're looking for the letters than finding the letters and then unscrambling them. I just think it would be easier to remember the letters. But I mean, Mariah still did really well. We know that she's a decent speller because of the Trivia Daily. She had, I think, 2 spelling words, and she did pretty well. So she's definitely decent with her words. There was another podcast that I was listening to that they really hated that Roxanne was there. They're like, why is she there? What was the point of her being there? Like, that was dumb. And I was like, well, it's a ride or die season. Her husband has been gone for like 4.5 months. Like, she's probably there visiting Argentina for, the last maybe month or something. Like, hey, like, maybe she's a fan of Nani's, and we're like, Nani's going to be in the elimination, want to come and host it with me. Like, I don't know. I thought it was really cool because she's been along on this ride with TJ like for many, many years now. How long have they been together? Do you know?
A long time. They have a child together that's, I think, fully grown. I thought, like, they have an adult child together. I thought.
I don't I'm not sure. I've seen his house on Cribs a few times, but I don't remember if they have kids.
It's to me, it's weird that somebody would get annoyed by that or angered by that. It was so minuscule. It was like a 2-minute thing before and after the elimination that held no real significance. So it's like, just let it roll off you. You know, there's so many other things to get annoyed with in the challenge. A small cameo from TJ's wife is not something to get upset over, in my opinion.
Not at all. But I think we might have a new tier that we're going to be putting in here. And that has to be something to do with Fessy barfing. Should we put like what you have on your wall there? What does it? Drink up Fessy? What does it say?
Yeah. Yeah, it says drink up Fessy.
Should we have a tier, a Fessy barfing? Fessy gags.
I almost want to say like bottoms up or bottoms down. Up Chuck.
Oh, up Chuck, I think is it. It's good. It's so gross.
I don't know what else to say.
Barf. Come on, help us here in the chat. Let's get a good tier. And what would we changing it for? It would be something on the bottom, I think. Maybe underdog? We'll change underdog to whatever the barf thing is.
I'm trying to think of like what's a play on words that also means that.
Let's see if we can brainstorm something. Maybe something hurl. People like gagging Fessy, gaggy Fessy. No Jesus juice for gaggy Fessy. Fessy purging up his ego.
Oh man.
Okay, so here's some synonyms for barfing. Okay, let's just see. We got gag, heave, hurl, regurgitate, retch. Retch could be in there. Spew, upchuck, be sick, bring up, chunder. I've never heard of chunder. Cough up, do the Technicolor yawn. Never heard of that. Get sick, spit up, throw up, toss one's cookies. Does any of those puke? Stir something up in you. I think that's all. Nothing? Be nauseous. Disgorge. Ew.
Ew. What?
I don't know. I'm just looking at test synonyms here. Obviously, vomit. If I didn't say that already. Okay, what's the chat saying? Bottles up. Barfarama. Swallow the juice, boy. Underdog gives the win. Ew, barf feast. You guys are just so gross. Puking their guts out.
I mean, we could do. I mean, I renamed Underdog to Blunderdog because they gave up the win at the end. If you wanted to change it to that, I don't know about anything with the Fessel. Maybe just a vomit emoji would be.
Okay, when you say Blunderdog?
Yeah.
Okay, Blunderdog it is. No barfing. Barfing doesn't make it. Okay, well, we'll see what happens when we get through it. Maybe something will be inspired at some point. Okay, well, who do you want to start with? Are we going to maybe defend some of these people that are built for comfort? Anybody coming out of that spot?
Yes, I would like to move Casey from this episode to now suffocating in cake.
Okay.
She is she got one of the most confessionals this episode. I think she got like 9 confessionals.
Whoa.
And she was able to win on the last one, helping to elevate Team Fessel from being one foot in the grave to going directly into the elimination to boom, getting in. So I just thought that she performed really well. and she was featured a lot more. Not saying that it was more entertaining that she was featured in, but she got 9 confessionals and did really well this episode, to the point where I thought she gave enough content to be earn the suffocating in cake.
Yeah, I mean, I have
thing.
to agree here. And she also did win for the women on her side. Like that seemed
Yeah.
like the hardest one out of all 3 of those dailies, or 4 of those dailies. And so yeah, I think that she really protected the other women on her team there, allowed Fessy to still have an ego that his team is amazing, even though he nearly lost it for them. So yeah, I can agree with her being suffocating in cake. I don't think that anybody is really going to be coming for Casey for whatever reason. Like they're scared of her, but then they still don't try to get her out. It's wild to me. But yeah, I agree. She's suffocating in cake. Looking at her her partner's gone. Miss Built for Comfort herself, we could talk about. I don't think she really goes anywhere other than down. Like I would want to put her down here, even though she's not at the game. She's not the queen for the day. Absolutely not. I feel like she had like 2 confessionals, even if that. Stirring the pot, she has not been doing any of that whatsoever. I don't know if she's insulated or not, because she really doesn't seem like she's part of the season. It's quite strange. She's very much like, just every once in a while she has a confessional about Tori and Jordan situation, and that's kind of it. Like I feel like she's not really part of the season anymore, and so I don't think that she can move out of Built for Comfort. You might have a compelling argument, but
No, absolutely not. I mean, she's just chilling in there. She's tired of the Tory drama. She's tired of Amber being indecisive about which dagger to pull. And I guess she assumes that she's putting on a show, asking if Nani wants to be the one to pick the first sword. And it's like, Anissa, how about you just worry about like your podcast job that you're losing to Davon and Devin right now, instead of you worrying about what everybody else is doing in the house. You are giving us nothing at this moment. So how about that?
Yeah, I think she's stuck there. I don't see her moving. Now, do you think that there's any type of final that she could win? Who does she need to be up against? What other 2 teams that are the teams that are left could she win against potentially?
None. I don't think anybody. Honestly, I don't see anybody. I mean, maybe Casey and Kenny if they were to make it. I just don't see it. I mean, just thinking back to the mini final that they did, I mean, her and Jordan were so far back, like absolutely so far back. And I only think that's only like maybe a quarter of what the final will look like. So if that's the case, then it's not going to be good. And I don't think Jordan's going to be as patient with her
if in a final.
Because I think in a mini final, it's like you're in the middle of the season. Nobody really wants to win anyways, and people can be so a patient to a point. But when $1 million is on the line and you're not picking it up, you're not kind of like showing any hustle, then yeah, what's the point? So
I mean, at least one thing with Anissa is she's a decent swimmer. So maybe there'll be a swimming portion that she might be able to do decently well in. I think Nani's an okay swimmer. I don't know about Casey, but she's from Florida, right? So she's probably a good swimmer, I'm assuming. I feel like people in Florida grow up swimming.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, we're surrounded 3-way by water on 3-way of our sides. I will say that Anissa was, I mean, if we're taking this into account with her swimming abilities, during the helicopter daily challenge, she was on a platform by herself alongside Olivia when Olivia said that her and Anissa aren't the best swimmers. So that's why they're going to be on the rafts instead of being on the helicopter trying to hold on.
But she's always been a decent swimmer, though. I do remember her saying that, Olivia saying that, but maybe people just assume that she's not the best swimmer, but because she's bigger than she used to be. Maybe
because she wouldn't be able to hold on to the helicopter enough to get major points. So maybe that could also be a reason why she didn't get on the helicopter.
The reason, Because
Yeah, I can
like,
see that now.
remember how in that daily where she almost won with Jordan, like she was hanging on, but he's like, I don't trust that she can hang on that long, so I'm just gonna go right away. And so she might not be able to hold on for long enough to make the other swim. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might have been a combination.
Yeah,
Whoa,
could be.
Mary says Anissa maybe could beat Jemmy if she had 2 injured legs. No, I think that Jemmy could take Anissa. She just has a little bit more heart, I would say.
Who's injured? Anissa or Jemmy?
I think Jemmy. I think Jemmy is. Yeah, so Willie's saying that he doesn't think that Anissa has the fire in her, and I think that that's true.
I think the desire is there. I just don't know if the execution is there. I do think that when she comes onto the season, she would like to win. I think at the end of the day, once she hangs up her challenge uniform and does whatever else she's going to do, possibly be a podcast host or go into a practice or something, wherever she's going to do, I think she would like to have challenge champion by her name. And I mean, she has a big resume that goes a long way. But I know she really wants that. It's just it's tough. It's tough to really see it to believe it, you know, or
I
see it in your brain.
I don't see it. I don't see it. She's built for comfort. And listen, like people can be whatever weight size that they want, but if you're coming back to win the challenge against all these people that are like 15 years younger than you, like you got to do some training. Like you really have to be in physical shape to compete with these people that are so much younger than you. Like you just you just have to if you really want to take it seriously and win. So do you think this is going to be her last season for a while at least?
Probably not. If it is her last season on the main season, I could see her trying to transition to do All-Stars more often, which I think is more of her speed, but
Yeah.
still, even when she was going up against in the first season where it was the first like just testing grounds for that All-Star kind of realm, which I think the second and third seasons were somewhat harder and had a lot stronger competition than the first season. She came in 10th place. So I think that she still needs to do something to set herself apart from the other competition if she were to just go on All-Stars and stay there. But I just have a feeling that if she's going to maintain podcast host, that she would probably keep on doing these just to get the insider look, get the insider feel, ask people questions during the week so that way she can have stuff to talk about with them. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It's true. And let's talk about Nani as well. You know, I'm going to have to I think let's argue about it. We'll see what happens. Maybe let's put Nani up here for queen for the day. As I mentioned, I know people are not happy with Nani, but I was really happy that she didn't go home. I didn't want to see Nani go home. I feel as though I think that she may have given herself a boost of confidence here with actually going down into the zone, because everybody always says that she just skates by to the end and then loses. Like she might have gotten a little bit of that drive back in her, and that could be the drive that she needs to win the game. So let's argue about whether or not she deserves to be queen for the day.
I don't think there needs to be arguing. I think that she should get it for getting this win. I think I read somewhere on Twitter that this was her second single or solo elimination win. She goes in there. She worked hard. Yes, she went up against a rookie, but she did well. She didn't show that she was scared, even when talking to Casey in the backyard before going to the elimination. I just thought she did really well this past week's episode. Granted, her team lost in the challenge, but she stayed pretty calm with Devin. She helped him in the puzzle that they lost to Olivia and Anissa, but I still think she did a really great job. It's either that or putting her next to Casey, but I think that she deserves to be up at the top for this past week's episode.
And also, though, with the portion that she won, it seemed like it was just seconds away. It wasn't like a blowout. It wasn't like she and Devin lost it for their team. Like if if Mariah and Jordan had just performed slightly better, like they would have won that challenge, and it wouldn't have been their fault that they would be going in or anything like that. So I don't think that she hurt her team at all. I think that she kept the lead pretty, like it wasn't like, it was like what, a minute difference. So they kept a pretty strong lead after they did their puzzle portion. And then, like you said, she goes down and she actually comes out on top. Yes, Mariah made a mistake, but she still kept going. She kept trying. She was competitive. And I want to give Nani some credit for that, because people have really come down on Nani a lot. And I thought that she did a good job this episode. So, Nani.
Agreed.
Queen for the day. So what do you think about her ride or die? Bananas.
Now I really want to put him in Built for Comfort this past week, just because it's just he didn't do much of anything this episode. I mean, I think he deserves to be up there and suffocating in cake, because he is going to be pretty insulated. He's not going to go into elimination, it doesn't seem like, unless possibly the next Guys' Day they lose. He could be in a greater chance of being in peril, but at this moment, he's just not doing much.
What about stirring the pot for the fact that he his cackling during the target portion of the daily?
Cackling. He also stirred the pot with Fessy and Mariah in the kitchen after coming back and getting Fessy all riled up before getting on Jordan coming into the kitchen. So yeah, I mean, I'll gladly put him up there because he actually did something of note this past week's episode. I just wish there was more. I think we've talked about it a couple of times. I just want more. I mean, he comes in as the most notable players and a legend, and he just doesn't do as much.
Well, this is he said it many times. I think he even said it as recently as Nelson. So last week on his pod, was that like there was zero incentive for him to be trying to win any daily and to do really well, because you did not want to have to ruin your allies. And so I think that how Bananas is really good at this game is when he needs to like be wheeling and dealing and kind of being sneaky snake or whatever Mariah's mom calls him. And he didn't need to do any of that. He could literally just coast by and not be thrown in. And so I think the format of the season is not allowing us to see the best of Bananas, or the most entertaining anyways. But I have him at stirring the pot. I know it's high, but he kind of was the only person really doing any pot stir in this episode.
I mean, the Jordan and Tori is going to probably be one to put up there. I mean, him and Tori did like fumble pretty hard on their portion, where they actually lost even more time, to where they had a 24-minute deficit. And by the time it was over, heading into the final task, it was a 37-minute, 42-second deficit that they were going to have to try to overcome. I mean, it wasn't that hard of a task either. It's just, what are the colors? What's the symbol? Where does it go? And they were fumbling it pretty hard.
So do you want to pull him down to suffocating in cake just ahead of Casey?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. All righty. Who's next?
We didn't talk about the person that was eliminated this past week yet, if we want to talk about them.
Yes, let's do that. Mariah missed the target. I think that she's ahead. No, sorry. Forgotten but not gone. Just kidding. Forgotten but not gone. I like Mariah, but one thing that I didn't enjoy was the fact that she just didn't seem to care that much. I know she's not used to being on the show. I know she came in as Fessy's ride or die, but he asked her, and it wasn't something that she ever really strived to be a part of. And so I can understand her not caring that much, but I just wanted her to be a little bit more upset about it, or a little bit more like the stakes were higher for her. great to be calm, cool, and collected going down there. Really close to getting it done. But I kind of just want to see a little bit more fire from Mariah and wanting to be here and play. It's like she's so lucky.
I think that this was like overload for her because from what she's makes it sound like on the Challenge Official podcast this past week and how much her and Fessel did know about each other going into the challenge house, and then to completely be left on an island by your own partner to be kind of fend for yourself at this point, where luckily Bananas was there to pick up some of the pieces. And I think it was just like so overwhelming at one point to be kind of thrust into this environment, not knowing what's going on. You're a rookie, you're out in the middle of sea. And then on top of that, I think this past week's episode, I think she understood that, or kind of wanted to go into the elimination because she did feel that she was the reason why they lost. And so I don't think she wanted to throw Amber under the bus. I don't think she wanted to throw Nani under the bus. I think she wanted to take responsibility and be like, I should go down there. I am a rookie. I was the one that cost us the 37-minute lead. And so by the time that she was eliminated, she said that when she was eliminated, she got in her mind, like, I'm going home. This sucks. But so when talking to TJ, and it's kind of like awkward, it's one of those real quick moments of, you're out, okay, but you're still back in. And she didn't have enough time to process it. She was already thinking, like, I'm done. Like, but from her tweets and what she says on the Challenge Official podcast, I think she's coming around to it. And she's getting that mindset of like, I want to compete. I want to play. And after listening to a couple of interviews and seeing what she was tweeting, especially to what she said to the haters, I was like, yeah, I really want to see her back. I like her.
I forget what she said.
She said, suck my nut.
Okay, I didn't see that actually.
Yeah. She said, thank you to everybody who is loving and supportive. I really appreciate it. And to my haters, suck my nut. And then with a heart at the end of it. And I was like, all right, touche. I like that.
I mean, I do wanted to see more of her personality because I do like her. I think maybe also the fact that she's partnered with Fessy, it hasn't allowed her to show her best self, necessarily, because like basically he doesn't care for her as a partner. And like, I just can't wait till his fate in the game is going to come down to working with her to get back in. Like, it has to be the case, especially because he was so, you played a good game, Mariah, or whatever he says. It's like, shut up, Fessy. Like, you didn't care about her. You're happy that she's gone. Like, you don't have your anchor there anymore. You can play your own game now. You can run the final with Casey, which is what you probably want to do. And it's like, they're gonna screw you over, Fessy. You're gonna have to work with her, and she might not want to work with you. I mean, $500,000 is enough incentive to like suck it up and like make nice with Fessy, but man, it could be hard. Like, she could be a little bit irritated by him, and they might not be able to work very well together now that he's treated her so poorly. So I can't wait for that reunion. That's gonna be fun.
That'll be really fun. That'll be really, really fun.
Really, really fun. So where are we putting? Oh, she's forgotten. Not gone, of course. Okay, so now that she has been placed beside Kenny, who are we talking about next?
And if we want to talk about her partner, we could just get it over with.
Let's get it over with.
I want to put him in the popping of the balloon.
Yeah, that's the only place to put him.
Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
No, I was going to just say, just for the sole fact that he completely crapped the bed. And he was the one that wanted to be the big man on campus. He had to drink, and then he just kept on he lost all of his pride in that moment. He had to get help from a guy, which, he hated. He hated if he had to get any help whatsoever, but to get help from Devin to actually finish this, it was so hard for him, and I just love it. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, there's no other place for him to be here because, like, he wanted to go head to head against Jordan because he thought that he's like, I'm going to compete against Jordan. He's one of the best. He's one of the only guys that I'm scared of coming back on this season. And then he got beat by the gross cup of liquid. Yeah, his ego got bruised, which was lovely. So yeah, there's no other category for him but this one.
And
Agreed.
and the idea that he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that he's 1 foot out the door. Like, he just was like, "Oh, bye, Mariah. Good job. I threw you a bone by not voting you this week to go into elimination." And then he's like, "Oh, she did great, but well, oopsie. At least I'm still here." It's like, yeah, but you don't even know. Like, what if you have to go in and face off against one of your best friends, Casey, because your original partners are out? Like, I love it. I love that he doesn't even know.
Oh my gosh, please, 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 please give this to us. I mean, do you think that the producers are gonna give us what we want here, or are they gonna do something dumb?
I don't know. I don't want them to do something dumb, but you never know.
You
You
never
never know what
know.
could happen.
Because like maybe they want to protect them and they don't want that to I'm like, we want that to happen. Please, please, please. Oh my goodness. I like if it was like only the two of them and they had to go against each other, that's also even better. But like
Oh yeah.
I think chances are though there's gonna be 4 different teams that are gonna be competing. That's my
Y-
thought.
You'll get like a sad, sappy story from Fessel in the confessionals being like, I already had to take out one of my friends this season. Now I'm gonna have to go up against another friend.
She's a
Oh, woe is
beast.
me.
I'm like my 2 ride or dies are gonna go against each other.
Yeah.
Um
My real ride or die.
My real one. So yeah, I love him being in that spot. That's the second time he's been in that spot, I think, right? Obsessed.
I don't know. Probably.
Obsessed.
We put him low one other time, I think.
So let's talk about maybe Amber. Amber was pretty great in her portion of the daily. I thought that was pretty impressive. The fact that her and Horacio were able to, use her really great endurance, but then they also were able to memorize that key quite quickly. And like, I don't put Amber as to be the smartest person. But her and Horacio were able to get this done way faster than Bananas and Tori, who have a lot of experience on them. So I was definitely really impressed with Amber during that part of the daily. So, but where do we put her? I think she could go up near the top here. Um, she also pulled the safe dagger, so she had luck on her side. So the safe dagger was supporting the queen here for the day. So put her next to Nani. Nani did a little bit more, I would say, for the fact that she came back from elimination. But I thought Amber had a pretty good episode.
I for a team that I didn't think I needed in my life was Amber and Horacio, and I just love them. I love them together. They are the most likable duo I think I've ever like witnessed on the challenge working together. Horacio was so excited to work with Amber, and then they just communicated so well, going up against what I think are veterans that are well versed in the challenge. I mean, they're going up against Bananas and Tori, and they are just like completely just inept in this task. And Horacio and Amber just take care of business. I think Amber was able to console Chauncey, which I think is just so wholesome. I love their relationship. They don't get mad with each other. They're just working out with each other. Also, they work out with the bench press bar, and they're moving it from side to side. Like, this is real challenge workouts that should be done. And I really enjoyed watching them together. And then, yeah, luck was on her side. I'm cool with putting her up at Queen for the day. I thought that she did a really, really decent job, even though she was in the line of fire, even though her team did lose. I just thought that she did her part and she did a
Yeah,
really good
kept her
portion of
lead.
this episode.
Actually extended their lead with her portion. So Yeah, I wonder how she would have done if she had, like, I know. So I was listening to Brian and Allie talk about this episode, and they were saying, they were asking whether or not it would have been better if you decided, like, you saw all the four different puzzle, the four different daily options, and then before, like, you just, in the beginning, you decide who's doing what. And so, because then maybe you wouldn't have Mariah going against basically Casey in that last one. It might have configured a little bit differently than it kind of just being like, okay, by default, they're the last people that haven't gone, and then Jordan's going twice. So what do you think about that as an alternative as to how this daily played out?
I think it would have changed some strategies, definitely going forward. Like, I think they would have swapped up Amber doing the last one with the bungee one because it looked like a sprinter. So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they would have thought that they would have to run long
A long
distances, and
distance.
knowing how well she does with running, I think that they would have swapped up somewhere where she would have probably done the bungee. Maybe Mariah would have been with Horacio with the memory, or maybe Nani would have done the memory with with Horacio, and then Devin would take on whoever because he would have just been like, I can do the puzzle all by
Mm-hmm.
myself. So I
Yeah,
think it would have done minor changes, but I don't know if it would have completely changed
the outcome.
everything. But I think that would have been better. I like when using strategy instead of just, like they were saying,
Process of
blind faith,
elimination.
blindly just going like,
Mm.
whatever, I'll do it. Who cares what's coming up next?
I mean, it
I don't
still
know.
could be blind faith because you don't know what the actual
True.
challenge is, but it would have been, I think it would have been a little bit more compelling to decide, and it's all locked in no matter what, instead of kind of being like, oh, that person's doing it for your side. Okay, we'll put this person up against them. I don't know. I think it would just might have been, it might have been a little bit more interesting, but I don't know if it would change the results, but you know what I'm saying. Because yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
who do you think that the other team would have then put in that bungee position? Do you think it would have always have been Casey, or would she have been excelled maybe somewhere else?
I I think it would have been Casey, but I don't think they would have done let Chauncey go because of what they were talking about, the running. Like when he talked about, oh, I can run, but only for a short period of time, and then I get really tired or whatever. Like I think he could have probably swapped up and done a different portion. I don't know what he would have done. I think he would have just done the memory one, but I don't know how well he would have done with memory. I think it would have changed slightly for the other team, but I think they would have been more okay with their thought process. I think it could have changed a lot for the underdog, more so than Team Fessel, in my opinion.
Sergio asked, when have Bananas and Tori ever been good at puzzles? I mean, I wouldn't have put them. Well, I mean, it didn't say puzzles for that one though. What did it show them? I can't remember what the symbol
A light
was.
bulb.
A light bulb. I don't know if I would put those two at the light bulb moment for their team, which is interesting. Who would I might have?
Uh,
I guess their team isn't full of the brightest stars though, so
yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe Fessel would have been better there. I know
but
he's like good at math, but I don't know if how well he can do with like memorizing.
him and Mariah weren't that great at the Peaky Blinders one. What were they? Were they second? They're second, third? Because it was Nerese and Nelson that did the best, and it looked like Devin and Tori were kind of
That's
right up
true.
next to them.
That's true.
I don't
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
But yeah, I don't know if I would put Bananas and Tori in that spot with a light bulb. Like, not so much. So what about, oh, we already talked about Nani. So who should we talk about next?
Who do we have left? Well, we could talk about Chauncey because we just talked about Amber.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, let's go. Where does he go? Oh, okay. I have a thought. You're gonna talk
Go
about him
ahead.
first? I was gonna say Blender Dog, because I think it was a little bit of a blunder on his part for the fact that he did not try and throw that to save his girlfriend. I know that they decided that, like, you know, if it's better for you to win and look good in front of your team, then do that. Like, I'll fend for myself. great. Like I get that, but I think that there was a way that they could have maybe lost that and not look like they threw it. And so I just think it would have been better to keep the girls on that side stronger, just to give Amber a better chance if they have to like another elimination next round. So I think it was a little bit of a blunder dog move for the underdog, for the rookie.
I agree, because I don't know where else to put him, but also if Amber would have possibly gone into the elimination, then I would talk about moving him down one spot, because I feel like his balloon would have been popped at that point.
Ooh.
But I think that because Amber was safe and he did get the win, he was able to pull it out. And it sounds like from what some of the votes went, or how the votes went in the zone, that because Casey and Chauncey were the ones to overcome that deficit that they had, and they put on a great performance, it led to Amber and Nani not being the main vote, that Mariah was indeed the person that was definitely going to go in. Yes, she's the rookie, so she could have gone in regardless, but I thought Amber, already being in elimination, could have easily been the vote to be sent into the elimination as well. So I think that he's good where he's at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, he got lucky. He didn't have to, his team being like, oh, he's not a valuable team member here. So he was able to kind of keep his position, even though he's still on the bottom. No matter what, he's still on the bottom. So
yeah,
I see him going home on the next, or at least going into the zone in the next, if they lose the next time. But do you think that the underdog team will try Operation 2.0 for Chauncey? Or do you think that they'll switch that up?
I don't think it matters next week.
Oh, it's true, right?
Because it'll be whoever's voted in, and then there's only one safe.
I guess what
sword.
I'm saying is, do you think that he'll be the main vote, or do you think that he will get a chance to pick a sword, a dagger?
I don't know. It could be like Bananas pushing what Nani did this past week, where Nani was like, there's a elimination beast that we know has won eliminations and is really good, and then we have a rookie that hasn't been in elimination. Send the rookie just in case if I have to go in. And Bananas could be thinking the same thing, where he's like, I could either be possibly going in for sure against Fessy, or put in Chauncey, and then if I have to go in,
Chauncey's the vote. Like no matter what, they will all take the risk of going against Chauncey over going against each other. So yeah, I think that you're right. Yeah. They will convince them to put Chauncey in next round. There's no Operation Save Chauncey if they lose this next male elim, especially if he's the one that causes their team to lose. Like I think that he might even say like, I did it, like I deserve to go in, let me be the main vote. Like I can see him also taking it on the chin in that way as well.
Oh, that's true. Especially if he DQs. He
DQs, I can totally see him just saying
good
that.
Point.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go in, because it feels better to say like, hey, I'll go in, than like have your team vote you in. So I can see him wanting to just take away the sting of it all, and feel more like he's choosing his own fate and being like, I'm not scared. I'll go against Fessy. I'll go against Bananas. Whatever. But do you think it'll be a Bananas or a Fessy? I think it'll be Fessy that goes up. I think Banana will pull the safeguard dagger, unless production is going to want also Bananas to prove himself this season and make him go in against Chauncey with something that he's going to be really good at.
Maybe. I mean, can't be a puzzle, but it could be a puzzle, because Bananas has done more puzzles.
Fessy to win again. I can't take that, I don't think.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If it's as long as it's not physical, Bananas would be fine. I think he would have an upper hand if it's not physical.
Please,
but we'll see.
Give it to Bananas.
I don't know. He's lost so many. I don't even know. Like he's lost so many eliminations.
What are you good at, Bananas? Okay, so let's talk about who did we just talk about?
Chauncey.
So let's talk about, we were talking about Amber. Let's then talk about maybe Olivia. Olivia didn't do that much this episode. I mean, she was pretty good in her portion of the daily. I thought it was hilarious that people were like, Anissa's just telling her what to do, and Olivia's the one that's moving all these heavy blocks for their puzzle portion. But regardless, they were able to get it done, and they beat Bananas and Nani on their portion. Correct? It was them two, right? Yeah.
Yes, and Olivia is the one that had the brain blast in the middle of the puzzle to actually solve it. Because in the beginning, Anissa was the one that was like, try this, try this, try this. And then all of a sudden, Olivia is like, move this one. We got to do this. And it was Olivia that I think actually helped propel them to get the win, albeit mere seconds before Devin and Nani were able to get
Devin and Nani.
it,
I said Bananas before. I meant Devin.
yeah. I didn't even, yeah.
I don't know where to put her, though. Yeah, queen for the day? No. Because if she probably would have gone home if they had lost. Stir in the pot? Not really. She didn't really do that much. Stuffing and cake, she's not really. Maybe Blunder Dog ahead of Chauncey.
I don't know. I think she could be in the cake category behind Casey. I mean, honestly, she did well in her portion. She was able to help take out some of the lead before Tori and Bananas absolutely just threw the lead down. And they've been winning. They've been winning on the days that she's not had to go in. And now she's getting this week off and next week off because it's a guy's day next week. So it's like, I don't know. I think she had really good confessionals, and I think she's playing a really solid game at this point.
Okay, I can support you here. I really wasn't sure where to put her. I mean, I do think that she will most likely be going into the zone at the first time that their team on a Women's Day needs to go down there. But this episode, I thought she did pretty well. I thought that she helped her team win. So, all right, we'll keep her there. I'm okay with that. Okay, so what about Horacio? Where do you want to put him?
I mean, this is tough. I'll be honest, I love Horacio from this week's episode, especially knowing that he's the only person on his team to be smart enough to not want to help the other team in a time challenge event, and then to do well with Amber on their portion to even get a bigger lead going into the last portion. I just really enjoy him. I love what he's bringing to the show, and I wish more people had his level of competitiveness to where you can be nice, you can be a good guy, but also want to win and not having to play conniving, but still play within the rules to where you're like, earn it, you know? So somewhere up at the top.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe stirring the pot for the fact that he was the only person, like you said, that was not down with being all participation trophy era for Fessy. I was like, that could be considered stir the pot. Like I could see Fessy maybe like getting a grudge over that and being like, "Why you didn't want me to?" Like I don't know. So we might see something happen later on with him being the only one that's against Fessy here. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna put him in stirring the pot for right now.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Somewhere high is what I wanted. Anywhere up there.
Yeah, I don't think he's queen for the day, just for the fact that like he didn't have that much to do with anything that really went on. But I do like, his attitude at the daily and how he performed in the daily. He just shuts up and performs. Me likey. All right, who we got next? Oh, go ahead.
I guess what we brought up earlier with even with his team losing and possibly losing Mariah, I mean, it helps him ultimately save Olivia. So, I mean, even with that, I mean, it could be something bigger that even if he didn't want to help them, he comes off being for the team, but also helping Olivia. So, I don't know. I'm cool with stirring the pot. I'm cool with queen for the day. Either or, I think is high enough that if he's going to be, I would say he would be behind Amber anyways. So he would be either the front of stirring the pot or behind Amber at this
Right.
point, which either or is pretty much very similar.
Yeah, I don't know if I knew definitively that he like was trying to protect Olivia, you know what I mean, with like doing well. Like I just think he doesn't really do anything that's strategic. So I don't think we can be at the top this week. But I think
Okay.
that stirring the pot for me is where he should be. I'm into.
I'm cool with that.
M is asking, why are they babying Fessel? First TJ, now his opponents. The man cried over not getting his fourth season. It's true. I don't know why they're babying him. I've never been into participation trophies. Like even playing games with my niece and nephew. Not that like I play super hard, but I don't just let them win. You know, like I still like show them the value of like trying hard and thinking about things and like, you know, so like when they actually do succeed and get the win, it really means something. So I don't know why they're coddling this grown man.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. It's weird. It's weird. Okay. Who do you want to do next? I guess we did those two. Let's do Jordan since Anissa's already been set and built for comfort. I think Jordan, I'm gonna have to put Jordan in front of Fessy, but someone stole their toys because Jordan usually is able to do anything. And he was not able to get this done with Mariah. And it sucked. And I think that his ego might have been slightly bruised here for the fact that he wasn't able to get this done. Any of his strategies were not working. I don't know if it's Mariah's fault or his fault, but he was part of the losing duo. Now, yes, he did go twice, but I think that his balloon was popped when him and Mariah were not able to get the W in that fourth daily section.
Yeah, because I could see him either being in stirring the pot or being down here after having to get help from Devin when 9 minutes passed and he didn't get anything. None of the targets were hit, and he's pretty confident that he is really good at a lot of things. When TJ asked who was going to do the target, and he said he was going to do it because he got really good aim and he can do anything. So I think that not being really good at the targeting until Devin was able to step up and be a spotter, and then at the end not being able to help Mariah and his team get the win. I think that could be looked at as I don't know, a little bit of a scuffed ego on that end. So I can agree.
Yeah, I mean, we could maybe put him in stirring the pot for more of the Tory drama, but like let's just omit that drama from our memory right now because we'll probably have to deal with it again next week and just look at what he actually did this episode. And yeah, he's putting his hand up and saying like I can do anything, but then he actually needed help. And then he actually couldn't get the second one done. Why was it him that decided to go a second time? Maybe if it was Devin, not saying that Devin is stronger, but he did beat Wes in a similar bungee type inch for inch type challenge. So maybe Devin would have had a little bit more weight on him that he would be able to have gotten to the bar instead of Jordan. Because I mean, I don't know how tall Jordan is, but he doesn't seem like the tallest guy. Like maybe 5'9" or 5'10", maybe. But he's quite lean, quite slight. And Devin, I think, is 6'1", and he's a little bit heftier. So I don't know. Maybe Devin should have taken on that one, or Horacio if someone had to go twice. Jordan seemed to step up, but he didn't actually turn out. So I think somebody popped his balloon, his inflated ego balloon.
And I can see in the chat that Lena is saying to do Blunder Dog because he encouraged Devin to help Fessy. I totally forgot that he was one of the people to say, please help Fessy, which I think then reassures that he's supposed to be in the pop balloon, because I wonder if at certain points he felt sorry for Fessel because he knew what he was going through with the drinking so much of the goo, and then thinking possibly that you're so far ahead after so much time has passed that this won't come back to get us. Like, don't worry about that. And then all of a sudden, they're unable to finish up the last portion. With yeah.
Well, DJ Charisma here is saying hashtag too soft this episode. I mean, it's pretty soft. Do you think that Jordan was trying to make nice for the fact that he threw in Fessel the week before into the zone after breaking his promise with him? Do you think he was just trying to make mend fences?
I think it was more of how much gunk he was drinking, because Jordan seemed pretty shaken up at the point of drinking all that stuff. So he seemed like if he was having a really rough time, Fessel, who does not like eating at all, I think is even having a worse time than he was. So I think he was just like feeling really bad on that end.
Oh man, I don't know where to put him. Blunder Dog is good, but it's better, and I feel like he didn't have a good episode.
I will say that I think Thana is correct here, that maybe we shouldn't put so much blame on the last portion for Jordan, because he could have gotten there if her grip strength was really, really strong. She said that she could not hold on at all to the bottom bar. So whenever Jordan would get to her and try to pull up, that every time she would just like kind of let go or lose her grip. So
couldn't she just like do like one of these kind of grips or something, or like do like something else? I don't think I would be able to do well that way, especially if like your hands are sweaty because you've been, running around. Like, I don't know, could she have changed up her grip, put some sand on her hands to make it a little bit more sturdy? Like, I don't know. I'm like, they did that for what, like 45 minutes, and they couldn't figure out a strategy to like stick the landing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think that they would exhaust all possibilities in that amount of time, that they wouldn't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But
and I know it was blind faith, but like it's kind of also sucks that Jordan only has one hand and he wasn't going to be able to hold on the pole as well, like on the bar, as well as a doubly abled handed person. So that also kind of sucks that he was doing this particular one where he was going to already be disadvantaged in that sense. Was it
yeah.
Casey the one that held the bar on the other side?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so then if we're saying that we don't blame the loss fully on Jordan, more so on Mariah, then I can bump him up to Blunder Dog for the fact that he gave the win basically to Fessy's team. Like, who knows what would have happened if like they had an extra hour, they're out there for an hour,
Yeah, they could have taken more time. I think they could have taken more time to kind of just like catch their breath, figure out a new strategy. Maybe Devin would have came up with something within that time limit. I mean, that's another thing is people say that, oh, well, no matter how much time, you never know. You never know what an extra like 10 minutes could have done. You don't know how long
figured out a
A, B, or
strategy.
C. Yeah, exactly. You don't know how much time. You're kind of worried if you think that you only have like 30 minutes, but you have an hour, that it could make a difference. You never know. It could all make a difference.
Could all make a difference, because it seemed, I don't know if it was just the editing, but it seemed like when they were getting close to the buzzer that they were almost there, like they almost had it. So if they had an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes, like maybe they would have been able to figure it out. Because I think also knowing that you have like an hour and a half ahead of these people or something like that, and just being like, okay, let's try this, like instead of just trying the same thing over and over again, I think they might have tried different things to see if they can get that W. So Blunder Dog, do you think he's ahead of Chauncey?
I mean, Chauncey did this last task and was safe, but he was safe too, so I don't care. It really, to me, I'm fine with wherever it is.
We'll put it this side. Just because I wanted him in Stoller toys, so we'll put him at the back of that one. All right. What do we have to say about Tory Deal?
Which Dave? Okay, we're gonna go with Tory Dave. Gosh, this is so ridiculous. I don't know. Oh, it's the cake. You want to just do cake?
Yeah.
Blunder Dog, maybe Blunder Dog. I will maybe Blunder Dog because she really kind of screwed up her portion
Oh,
of
yeah, it's
the
bad.
episode and almost could have been seeing an elimination.
Yeah, if Mariah was like slightly better at that daily, like she would have been in a bit more trouble. So yeah, they lost what 13 minutes or so. Not great, not great, Tori.
Yeah, and if their team would have lost and they had such a terrible performance to even lose by more of a margin because of her, I think that she would have been lower on my rankings, but because her team did come out with this win and she was bailed out, I think that Blender is fine.
Yeah, we'll give her Blunder Dog. I mean, some people think that her balloon might be popped, but it was the daily for me. I mean, she's still in a decent position. I don't know if she would go home, and I think that she could win against. I think she could win against Olivia. I don't know with Anissa because she's lost one against her, just one or more than one. I don't remember.
I think she's the one.
Just the one. I don't know. I could also take her down a notch too. No, I think Blender Dog. She just kind of didn't do a great job in the daily, but she didn't ruin that like her game. Like she didn't. Her ego didn't get popped. Well, maybe a little bit because she thought she probably would do better than two rookies, or at least than Amber and Horacio. Well, we'll leave her here unless somebody convinces us to move her down a little bit more.
Okay.
And last but not least, Devin, the spotter himself. Where are you gonna put him?
I think he did pretty well this past week's episode. I mean, he was the only reason either team passed the first task. And he did a good job with the team morale. He did slightly okay on the puzzle. I almost want to though put him in Blunder Dog just for helping Fessel and going along with it, but it also helped his cause with helping to keep Tori safe. This is a weird one for me to like try to guess. Maybe it's stirring the pot. I could see him doing well.
I mean, stirring the pot in the sense that like he I mean, nobody was mad at him, but like he really shouldn't be helping the enemy, right? And I think that could be considered stirring the pot a little bit for the fact that like literally helping Fessy. It's funny. And now he could always say to Fessy, "You owe me one, man." So
True.
I think stir the pot, or I can even put him up for queen for the day. But he didn't win his puzzle portion, which he's supposed to win. So yeah, let's not make him queen. Stirring the pot is where I have him right now. What do you think?
I am fine with that. I think.
Yeah. Lena thinks king for the day. Helping Fessy was intentional. I think he's more of a pot stirrer, though.
I mean, if he was trying to do it on the low, I think it would have been different. But I mean, he said he asked multiple times if he should help, and his whole team agreed that he should help instead of, except for Horacio. So I don't think it was as intentional, but I think he saw the benefits of helping. That even if his team were to lose, that Tori would be safe still. So I think that's also played a factor in like, I don't care if I help him or not, like
he basically wanted the girls to say whether or not like he should help them, right? Because it's a girls' day. So
yeah, he wanted to be there for the team, but he's not worried at the end of the day. Like people were saying, oh, well, Devin wouldn't have helped if it was a guy's day. No, he wouldn't have.
He would
100% he wouldn't have, but his butt wasn't on the line, and all the people that were possibly affected by the other team winning this episode all said for him to help. So it would have been different if the shoe was on the other foot, being the guys, and Horacio was like, no, don't help him.
There's
he
no
wouldn't
way
help,
that it would
regardless.
even like a question. You'd be like, sorry, man. So Rodrigo's saying that Devin is overrated in puzzles. Like, I'm a good puzzle person, but sometimes if you just have the wrong configuration, it's hard to be faster than the other team that might have just put the first piece in the right place at the right time. So, like puzzle people, yes, you could be really great at puzzles, but sometimes it's just luck on how you originally place them for your speed. So I don't think that he's overrated. I think that he's probably a good puzzler, but he just was a little bit unlucky this time. I'll bet.
Yeah, I'll
And
say he's
that's
above average.
he's definitely above average.
Yeah.
Like I'd want him to be on my puzzle team as somebody that like, because the thing is with puzzle people is that they kind of think differently or outside the box, so they can figure out other solutions. They're able to see things from other perspectives. And so yeah, that might have not have worked with this particular puzzle against Anissa, who's also good at puzzles, and Olivia, even though Olivia, it seems like it was her that kind of solved it, but it's just sometimes it's just a configuration. So I don't even Jarrell beat him in the puzzle. Which puzzle was that? I can't remember. Was it
Those double
Tangram?
agents.
Was it
Yeah.
Tangram? But
Yeah, it was
see,
double
Tangrams,
agents.
sometimes you have to you get one configuration that just friggin' sucks. You know? So I've been stumped on a puzzle before, and I'm good at puzzles.
Well, even going back, I mean, Bananas is historically bad at puzzles, but in free agents, he had to go up against CT, who is relatively good at puzzles. And in free agents, he had to do the puzzle pyramid and won against CT, which CT was even baffled by that. But I mean, it's sometimes a luck of the draw. Sometimes your brain's just not fully into it. It depends. But yeah, like you were saying, you can't win them all.
Can't win them all. But that's it for our rankings today. That was fun. Things kind of moved around, which is always exciting, having different people in different positions. So I'm happy to see that. And I'm happy with this week's rankings. Whoop, whoop. Now, I'm probably not going to be that happy with my positioning this season with our draft, but you can disappoint me anyways. What's up?
All right, let's talk about our draft. Team Chris loses Mariah, so he technically has only one, and I mean one person left in the game, and that is Fessel. Chantele, you still have 5 people left, and I have 6 people left, and Chris only has one lonely Fessel. But with that being said, still, Chantele, you are still in 3rd place. You went up 47 points from last week's 405 to 452. And Team Chris went up 36 points, going from 514 to 550. And Fessel and Mariah, even having one more episode than everybody else on his team, Nelson and Nerese still have more points than Fessel and Mariah, which is very funny to me. And I am in 1st place still.
Have you hit the 1,000-point mark yet, or what? Like,
I have not.
Okay,
I can say for certain that I have not.
Oh my god! Is there a chance that like I could come out from behind here? I mean, I think I could maybe move up to 2nd place, but I don't even know.
I mean,
how
this
far
past week's episode, we saw a team get by a 37 plus minute deficit. So I won't say it's impossible, because I think after this episode, anything is possible. Kevin Garnett.
Give you the crown already? No way. How many points does Team Furniture have? Ugh. The least out of everybody, right? Well, maybe not Casey, Kaylee and Sam.
They definitely have more points than Kayla and Sam. They have a combined 66 points. And like I said, the 5 points from winning the daily and the 9 confessional points was actually one of the higher scores of this past week. But they're still at 66 points, which with everybody who is still left in the game is by far the lowest. The next lowest. So Casey and Kenny, or just Casey and Kenny are at 66 points. The next one above them is Amber and Chauncey with 137 points. So they have
more than double.
Yeah, they have less than. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
yeah, it's bad.
Never. I will never. No matter what the circumstances are, I will choose anybody. I'll even choose Emmy, I think, over them. Like, like not
Yeah.
Emmy, alien Emmy, but Emmy, the one that like quit.
I bet you would pick Alien Emmy if she was on a season before Casey.
Of course I would. I actually I would for sure. Damn, they've beaten the first boot. That is awesome for them, I guess. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Oh
if you want to
man.
know, they have more points than Kayla and Sam, Colleen and Kim, Annalise and Tommy, Johnny and Raven, Turbo and Tamara, and that's it. They don't have more points than Laurel and Jack, Nelson and Nerese, Jay and Michelle, and they have been out for quite a while.
Wow, guys, like send love here, send love, because this is really, really hurting my soul. It's hard. So let's remove that. And maybe something that will ease my soul right now is the game that I have for our friend Drew. So I love coming up with game and ideas, and I seemingly had some time on my hands. So I was able to do something a bit differently than in the past. So let's get you ready for this. Because, Drew, I'm going to want you to tell me which two challengers I have morphed here. So they're going to be people still in the game. They might be in purgatory or whatever, but they're still technically in the game. They're not completely out yet. So those are going to be the people to choose between. Are you ready for the first mashup?
Yes-ish.
Can you see this?
I can see this.
Okay, sorry. So well, I mean, I can maybe do this. So it'll remove that for a bit. Oh, so.
Is it Mariah and Anissa?
It is Mariah and Anissa. You are correct. I'm just getting my list out just so in case I forget. Very good, Drew. It is Mariah and Anissa. Okay, let's get to the next one.
To be honest, I'm the worst at like when Big Brother does this because I don't remember what anybody looks like. But at least with the challenge, I look at them like constantly every day.
Right. So the next one will be easy then. Sorry, I can't get rid of the play mark.
Is that Kenny and Casey morphed together?
It is Kenny and Casey together. Good job, Clark Furniture Company legends here. All right, who's next?
That's pretty good. I got the only the earring came through with Casey. Oh. Is this I'm looking at the hair now in the background. Is this
I know I tried
Amber
to
and Nani?
It is Amber and Nani. Good job.
Oh my gosh. That is Chad McGee over here. Look at this. Yes. Where has this challenger been all my life?
He looks like a tank.
He does. I will say that this is like the forces of good and evil put together because it is Horacio and Fessel, I believe.
It is Fessy and Horacio.
But look at that jawline.
Right? It's good. I thought this was probably the best one that I could do. It was honestly trying to find something that could do a good morph was a little bit challenging. And I might be able to figure out how to use this particular app a little bit better if I ever do this in the future. But this one, it landed well. I thought it was it's good.
This was really good.
And
even the hair is really good.
Right? It's so good. All right.
Oh my gosh. What? Are these people still in the game or is this anybody?
Still in the game. Or in Purgatory. What's it called? At the hotel.
Oh. What? I'm looking at the turtleneck and I'm just like so confused at this point. What?
The chat's got it.
I'm not looking.
I know. I'm just saying that like it's possible.
Is this? I'm just gonna throw out two names that I haven't said already. Is this Tori and Chauncey?
No.
Who is this?
Oh my gosh. You have one more guess because this is hilarious.
One more
to
guess?
me. Yeah.
So
Because
not
this
Tori
is very
or
funny.
Chauncey.
Not or. I just said it's not that combo.
Oh. Gosh, who? I'm just like thinking in my brain who's left. Is it Olivia and Chauncey?
The audience has it. It's Mariah and Chauncey.
Mariah again?
I know. Fooling ya.
I thought I saw Mariah, but then I was like, no, I've already said her name.
Hey, man, I didn't say that there couldn't be any repeats.
Dang.
Dang. The audience got it.
You're a Mariah stan, I see.
Okay. That was really worth it, though.
That was a good one. I was so confused. Oh my gosh. What is that mouth? This is definitely Bananas and Devin, but my gosh, that mouth and that nose. This is an abomination.
Sorry, this is just really funny for me. Yes, of course, it's Devin and Bananas. Dave and Bananas. Oh my god. It's this is great.
I thought Dial was bad, but this is Uncanny Valley bad. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, this is like I'm okay with being in third just to get to play this game with you right now.
Wow.
Okay.
That's gonna be in my nightmares.
Okay, what's this? Sorry for that damn play sign. Yeah.
I want to say this is Anissa, but I don't know who the second person is. Is this Amber and Anissa?
It is Amber and Anissa.
You're gonna throw me off by putting two people that have already said morph together.
Honestly, I was just basically putting together every single person that I could make look like a decent person. So
okay.
So
Makes
I mean,
sense.
I think I used everybody at least once, but like there might be multiples, you know. Just because like how I was doing it was like anybody that had their heads kind of the same way. You know what I mean? I'd put
Oh, that
them
makes
together.
sense.
So okay. Boy band member himself.
Wow. This is the bad boy of the boy band. If I ever wanted to know what Fessel looked like in like a mohawk or a mullet, this is what we're getting. This is Tori's walking living nightmare right now.
Literally.
This is Jordan and Fessel.
Yes, it is. Or Forden, as Zunaman says. Jordan with no eyebrows. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm literally crying. Sam, you came right on time to see me crying over this game.
I like
go ahead.
I like how Forden is the name, but you could easily go Jesse and it'll be fine.
I like Forden better. Oh man, this is worth every second of it.
Okay. Like all the Amber ones look the same. So I have to say Amber, who the heck, man? I get thrown off by whoever the second person is. Is this Tori? is this Amber and Mariah? Or did
It
you
is
use Mariah
Amber.
again?
Yes, I did.
Dang.
I did. It is Amber and Mariah. Yes, it is. Amberiah. I love that. That's a great name. Amberiah.
That's awesome. I like that.
Amberiah. Okay.
What the heck?
Oh my god. I just want that play sign to go away though. Sorry. I'll figure
No,
out
it's all
something
good.
different for next time.
Is this Anissa and Kenny?
It's Anissa and Kenny.
I can see the mustache a little bit. I didn't know who the other person was for the longest time, and then I saw a little bit of like the peach fuzz mustache, and I was like, I think that's Kenny.
Oh my gosh, man, funny. Okay, and
whoa, this looks like a tattoo artist that I know of off of gosh, what is that show? Dang, I can't remember. Ink Masters. Looks like Ryan Ashley or Ashley Ryan or whatever her name is. I'm so tempted to say Mariah for another time. Is this Mariah and Olivia?
It is Bolivia,
Olivia,
or Olivia, or Olivia. It is. I'm sorry, Drew. Well, just like Mariah had a really good morphable face.
Yeah,
it worked with a lot of people.
That was pretty good. Okay. What the heck?
This is the last one.
This is scary.
That's the last one.
I know it's Anissa. Is that Anissa and Nani?
It is Anissa and Nani.
Anani.
It is.
Anina. Anini. Anani. Anini.
Nanisa.
Nanisa, that's a good one. Nanisa's good.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad you guys are appreciating my laugh. I'm just really laughing at these pictures myself. Drew, how did you enjoy this game?
Some of them morphed pretty well, and then I'm going to be having nightmares to Dana's or whatever his name is, Bevan, whatever.
I'll send you a picture of that if you want to post it somewhere. Oh my gosh, that was really, really fun for me. I hope it was fun for you, Drew, and fun for you guys in the chat. I don't know where I got that idea, but it came and I was like, I need to follow through with this. So I'm happy that you were willing to participate with me in that. So thanks again, Drew. You're the best.
No, thank you.
So what do you have going on this week that the people would like to know about?
I got some challenge videos coming out. I got Monday is an edited version of this episode. I'm going to be working my hardest over the weekend to try to get the one video project that I was talking about on my live with the Kara stuff out by Tuesday. I think I'll be pushing the deadline to work hard on it. If it's not this week, I'll get part one up probably next week because I got hit with a huge wave of more information that I need to put in to the beginning of the video. So we'll see how it's going to go this weekend. Then on Thursday and Friday, Thursday is going to be review and recap for the Challenge 38, episode 14. Then it's going to be Tiny Table Talk for episode 13 of 38. And then I'll be doing Patreon videos going live tomorrow, Saturday, and Wednesday. I'm going to be going, putting out Patreon content as well. So Patreon content on Saturdays and Wednesdays, and everything else will stay the same.
You have a lot more going on than I do. I'm only covering the challenge right now. So going live right after the episode on Wednesdays and back here on Fridays with you. I'm also trying to figure out how I should cover Traders USA because they're just dropping the entire season in one fell swoop. And I'm like, oh, it makes it so hard to, because like you want to just sit there and just like watch them and just go and watch them back and forth and binge them. But if I want to recap them, like I kind of have to do that at some point. So if you guys have any ideas on how I could do this, please let me know. But that's all I really have going on now. That I think that drops next Thursday. So we will see what's going to happen there. I definitely going to watch it. How I'm going to cover it, I do not know. So give me some of your amazing ideas. Em has a question for us. Would we watch the mole from European countries? Yes, because the Dutch and Belgian ones are on YouTube with English subtitles. Absolutely, I would. Maybe I'll do some watch parties and we'll watch some of those because I love the mole, and so that's one that you don't really need that much like knowledge of what they're saying. You can kind of like figure out what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you need to know what the conversations are being had, but I'd do it. I'll watch it. Where's Trader streaming? It is on Peacock, I believe. Yes, Peacock. So, yeah, thanks to everybody for being here again, indulging in my game. Maybe if you have any other suggestions of what game I can play with Drew next week and with you, that will be awesome. So you can leave that in the comments below. Let us know if you think that if Nani has a chance at winning. I know everybody's so anti-Nani, but she did win an elimination on her own, and she hasn't done that very often. So does this mean, is this like fortune telling that she might win this season? Like, what do you think? What do you think about Nani's chances of being a winner, a challenge winner for season 38? We'll see what happens. So like this video and please subscribe to the channel. Till next week. Bye.